Hello YouTube, it's Taxi Guy. Thanks for clicking on my video. I'm going to kind of get a little off subject from what I usually do on this channel, but I got sent in a special request from a certain friend of mine that wanted me to do a video on what are my thoughts of drinking and why it's bad, alcoholism, that kind of thing. First off, the whole 21 thing, that you can't drink till you're 21, I agree with that and I disagree with that. It can go either way. 21 is more of a mature age than 18 or 17 or 19, But at the same time, you got 18-year-old kids that can go overseas and fight in a war, but they're not allowed to have a beer. That's what I don't agree. That's the only thing I don't agree with on that. But like I said, I'm 24 years old, so obviously that went out the window for me a while ago. But, look, honestly, bottom line is, if you don't abuse it, it goes with anything. Like gambling, cigarettes, gosh, I don't know, if you're on some pain pills or whatever. As long as you don't abuse it, usually it's not a problem. Nobody should really say anything about it. Now, with alcohol, it's a little tricky. And because, like I said, alcoholism is anything like being addicted to gambling, being addicted to drugs. It all falls under the same category, in my opinion. But really, the problem I see with alcohol today is that kids, I'm anything but an old man, but I'm talking about like high school kids will go out, try to get their hands on it. They want to get wasted. They want to see how much they can drink. They want to do shots and all this crap. And, ask yourself this. If you young kids in high school are doing this, which I hope you're not, but let's face the facts, in today's world, that happens. But, when I was growing up, we never had to worry about that. It was more of, like I said, the drugs and everything really wasn't, that's really a new thing, believe it or not. That's something that just arose in the last 10 years. Because when I was that age, 13, 14, we played video games. We got together and ate pizza and drank pop and played video games. That's what we did on a Friday night. Now, of course, today, it's way different, But, like I said, that's why I miss the late 90s and early 2000s when life was actually simple and not all this complicated bullshit. But anyways, that's neither here or there. Look, if you're going to drink, it should be done socially. Drinking is really meant to be a social thing. Now, if you're going to drink by yourself, that's all fine and good. I ain't going to say I'm never drank by myself because that'd make me a hypocrite. But, having a couple beers by yourself, to me, is not a big deal. I don't see the harm in that. And as a matter of fact, I'd rather prefer to do that than try to go out to some bar. Then you got to worry about getting a ride home. Then you got to, the drinks are usually more expensive. Especially if you want to order the mixed drinks or whatever. I'm just a beer type of guy. I stick to the King and the Busch Light and Budweiser, Bud Light, all that. That's the kind of guy I am. I tried doing the shots when I was not experienced enough, but, as you get older, you learn what you can handle and not handle, So, what I'm trying to say is, like alcoholism. There's an alcoholic, and then there's a drunk. Some people may say, well, what's the difference? Well, there's a big difference. A drunk is somebody that just likes to drink to be fucked up all the time. They can really stop at any time, but that's the way they want to be. But an alcoholic, it's a disease. Most of you know that it is a disease, and I've seen it. I've seen guys where if they start drinking a couple beers, they can't stop. It's like an addiction. They cannot stop. And I was in a situation one time where I almost became a victim of that. When I started drinking when I was 21 is really when I started. And, at first I didn't like it, but it became easier and easier and easier every time to open a beer. Seriously, I could have a 12-pack of beer in my fridge all summer. And at the end of the year, I could see how many there were left. I wouldn't even go through a 12-pack. Now, all of a sudden, I became to the point where, heck, going through a 12-pack, that became just a weekend thing. I very rarely was ever alone, but then I noticed, I started drinking alone. And then it became easier and easier to drink more and more and more. So at that point, I knew I needed to get out of it. I said, okay, this is obviously taking control of me now. It's no longer me having a good time. It's something that's taking control of me, a horrible thing. I've seen people lose their families. I've seen people get divorces. I've seen dads where they haven't drank a beer in 20 years, but the fact that they did it when their kids were growing up, their kids don't want anything to do with them. So I've seen alcohol, what it can do. It can destroy your life very badly if you let it. I mean, one person, I mean, seriously, people have mixed opinions on alcohol. I mean, one person down the street thinks, oh yeah, having a beer here and two is fine, but the next person right down the street thinks that beer is no more than the devil in a can. You know? So, I mean, it's a personal preference. Like I said, honestly, there's a lot of disadvantages. I mean, there really is no advantage to drinking alcohol. I mean, let's be honest. There's no health benefits. There's no... there's nothing you're going to gain out of it. I mean, yeah, you're going to get screwed up and have a good time and hopefully not do anything stupid. I've seen women get pregnant and had no idea what they were doing. Alcohol has done a lot of bad things that I can relate to. Nothing really personally to me, but, I started drinking, when I was 21 for the wrong reasons. If you're sad or depressed, that's not the time to be drinking. I came to learn, and, I went through some counseling and got through it, but, I never was really considered an alcoholic, but, I was getting to the beginning stages. And so like I said, people, just be responsible with it. I mean, and as far as the shots and the Everclear and the Jack Daniels, seeing how much you can drink, it's stupid. I mean, it's really stupid. Christ, you get alcohol poisoning, you look like an idiot. Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to impress your friends that you're going to be through with high school, and then after high school's over, you'll never see them again? I mean, seriously, who are you really impressing? Because I got drugged into that crap too when I was in high school, and I just said, guys, it ain't worth it. I got a lot to look for when I get out of high school. I don't want something on my record for the rest of my life. Or I don't want to end up doing something that's going to get me thrown in jail. Because, because trust me, when you're drunk, you end up saying stuff and doing stuff you usually would never do. Wouldn't even think about doing. So just consider that. Like I said, I'm going to keep it short now. I've gone on as much as I want to say about it. But if you guys want me to do a video on some other personal thing, I'll do it. And if I have any relationship with it, I'll tell you about it. But like I said, alcoholism, guys, it's not to be taken funny. And like I said, I knew a couple alcoholics. We got a couple alcoholics in our family. And like I said, it causes health problems down the road. Hell, I know a guy that he drank for 20 years straight when he was younger, but after that, he didn't drink a beer for like 25 years, but his liver was shot. And that problem didn't arose until the last 5 years of his life. And that was from alcohol. So, next time you grab a beer, just think, if you're with some friends and you're having a social time, I personally don't see nothing wrong with that, as long as you're legal age, of course. But, like I said, let's be honest, that very rarely happens anymore. I mean, that's like the frickin' abstinence till marriage. How many people wait to have sex when they're married anymore? I mean, seriously, who does? But that's it, guys. I'll be bringing you probably the gameplay thing. I apologize. I know you guys are probably wondering where that is, but this computer I got now is just seriously has an issue uploading gameplay for some reason. Like I said, videos like this, it's just fine, but so that's got to be on hold for a while. I apologize, but I will get back to that as soon as possible, and I'll probably bring you a couple other videos before the NFL picks next week too. So everybody have a good night, and thank you for watching.